What up, fam? Welcome to another episode of Tell Me Why. And in this episode, I'm gonna ask, why was the Osprey canceled? And yes, I know, this is late news. We're all beyond this point. At this point of our lives in LEGO culture, there's already been a lot going on with the LEGO community, LEGO themselves, and our lives, and we're all kind of focused on the election right at this moment. I want to know why. I really want to dive back and ask, why was this set canceled? I'm not going to be reviewing it to the point where showing the entire specs of it. I mean, there are other videos you can probably see for that, but I was able to get my hands on one of them right here. Look at this. And you know what? I didn't spend like $2,000 that it's currently going out for right now. Thank you, scalpers that are out there. In fact, right now it's going for a decent price. I think I've been seeing them like at $700 or less. So if you really want to go get one, you can do it for a reasonable price. Good for you for not spending the $2,000 and get this set. So this specific LEGO set 42113 Bell Boeing V22 Osprey was sent to me from the land of the Haka. Between the Bricks. I'm gonna link his channel above and below. Definitely look him up. He is a fellow veteran, coat of arms. Thank you for getting this to me for retail plus shipping. I didn't spend the $2,000 like everybody else did when it first came out. And I can't thank him enough for bringing this here. He also gave me this little Kevin the Kiwi, which is actually pretty cute. Ezra had a good time building this. 30 out of 100, so this is really cool. So thank you again for this, dude. I really appreciate you. But going back to what this is, what my issues were. If you saw my original rant video, veteran upset about whatever, I didn't know where I was going. I just turned on the camera and just started recording. I was just lost in my thoughts, just pretty much ranting in front of the camera. I was actually pretty stoked that LEGO is creating a military vehicle. I mean, the V22 Osprey is a military vehicle. Don't sugarcoat it. That's what its intended purpose is. And what it was created for was military combat. LEGO tried to sugarcoat it and put orange paint and call it a rescue copter. To history to this day, there isn't no such thing as a rescue V22 Osprey. In fact, if you go to the Bell Boeing website, as I stated in my last video, there are other models like this. In fact, only one. But it's not the V22. It's a completely different aircraft, completely different design. Same kind of functionality, but it's not that. But this is the famous V22 Osprey that you kind of see in various movies and things like that. I personally have seen this thing fly when I was in Afghanistan, and that was back in test mode, and so I never had the opportunity to get on this thing. I was more in the Chinook or CH-53E Super Stallion era of transporting helicopters. I was really upset that they were just trying to sugarcoat it. Why couldn't they just create a military vehicle at that? Like, that was the real thing. Like, why I was pissed off was just call it a military vehicle. That's what it is. They did what they did. I was okay with it. I kind of got over it. And then they posted something about some German group getting really pissed off that LEGO created a military vehicle. You know what? LEGO creates military stuff. I already said that in my last one. They created Nazi soldiers, whether you believe it or not. They are Afrika Korps. According to Steven Spielberg, the German soldiers in Indiana Jones were intended to be Nazis. That was his vision. So LEGO created Nazi soldiers. But if you want to see that video, go ahead. It was my first ever episode of Tell Me Why. This episode specifically, I'm going to look at the Osprey. We've all come to speculate to why this thing was canceled. Was it really that German group, or was that a scapegoat? I don't really think it was really just them. I mean, 12 people, that group is like nothing. There's a lot of things that LEGO's done in the past that could be shysty, and no one really goes up in arms and they do something about it. I mean, it took forever to get a 501st battle pack, right? Like, right? Like an entire army of MNR's followers, to include myself. It took all those people for LEGO to listen to finally create that 501st battle pack, and now it's one of the top selling sets of the year. And you can never find it in the wild. You have to kind of go out of your way to look for this thing. And this was sold like hotcakes too. Or would it not? I don't know. Probably wouldn't have sold like hotcakes because it wasn't really available. The fact that no one can have this set is the reason why people want it. There are multiple reasons why we can speculate to what the real reasons are. Bevins Bricks did bring up a good point on his video where he stated that maybe it's something totally different. His speculation saying that it's maybe Boeing or Bell. Maybe Bell or Boeing like pulled the plug. Maybe because of how they're doing the stocks, their bad publicity, what's been going on with them, they could be the reasons why they pulled the plug from the licensing perspective. That could be it. We don't know. And LEGO using that protesting group as a scapegoat. That seems more reasonable, but kind of conspiracy theory type of deal. It could be the whole gearing system that LEGO put in there, that how the gearing starts to wear down and not be the best is good enough according to LEGO. If you use the Lego set properly and not try to twist it back and forth, it should be fine. That's an easy fix. Lego has done that with Wall-E. If there is a issue with the quality, that's easily fixable. Why waste all your money? So what comes down to it is these sets were made and were distributed, almost distributed. They're somewhere, and Kevin Hinkle has explained it before, that where Lego will pull the plug on a set at the very last minute, and there are a couple Lego sets that they have done that to include the Las Vegas architecture set. That was pulled down at the last minute. Lego has done it, so I'm not surprised that Lego can do it. Is what is the real reason that Lego pulled this set off the line? Is it because of the gearing? Is it because of the protesting group? Bigger? Is it simply the reason that they really messed up and realized what they had in front of them, that maybe this could be a bad idea? But what they really did was piss off a lot of people. But let's be real, everybody. Would you have purchased this set if it was readily available? What makes this so like, I want this? Is it the drug that we all have to want something that we can't have? And this set being one of them? I mean, this is a cool set as it is. I'm going to, oh my God. So there is a rescue ship back there. I'm going to turn this back into a military vehicle eventually. Getting rid of all these orange pieces. It's going to become dark bluish, gray, or black. That's the best thing I'm going to do. I want to know the real reason why this was canceled. And I know Lego won't say anything. I already know they won't. And we all can only speculate to a few things. How did this get this far in the process? It was because that Lego made a military vehicle, and that's the whole issue on itself. How did it get that far into the development and distribution stage without a single person being like, hey, I don't think this is a good idea? Because we all know it should be a problem for Lego to make military or violent stuff because they already have, right? And I've already said it with the Aston Martin, how with James Bond being already a questionable thing to make with its sex and violence attributed to its content, or to, you know, making cowboys and Indians. Because we all know where that led to. If you don't, read your history, Indians were pretty much slaughtered. That's really what that was. Even though Western is my favorite theme. And they call them Indians, right? Proper vernacular term is Native Americans. They've already admitted before the fact that they don't create modern military. And here it is again. Here's a statement.
Everything after World War One, like, because we had the planes, we had the World War One planes at some point, and they have been warplanes, but you not have seen any tanks or any World War II stuff and beyond.
World War II up. So this is a military vehicle. This is World War II up, right? This is present day military. And whether you like it or not, you can't sugarcoat it and say that it's not military by putting orange on it and saying it's a rescue copter. It's a military vehicle. That's like putting, like I said in the original one, that's like painting a tank yellow and calling it a tractor. No, it's a freaking tank. You know, I just love saying that person. I just do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up and build it. I'm not going to review it like everybody else has. I'm going to look at this from a veteran's point of view and just enjoy the set as it is, because it's a military vehicle and Lego is not going to create much of this, right? So Lego, tell me why. Everybody here, tell me why. Why was this set canceled? Why do you think it was? Because it's a military vehicle. You can't, like, I'm trying to defend it. Honestly, I'm trying to defend this thing. It's a military vehicle. It is what it is. You can't deny that. And I want to know why. Anyone from Lego here, like, answer it right now. Why was this set canceled? Was it because of the military? Was it because you guys did a crappy job in making sure that the best is good enough? Or was it for something totally different where a license was pulled?
But would you say your country's very stubborn? Because our country is. We don't like being told what to do. That's like both an Achilles heel and our strength. So it's literally to work both. It's a double-edged sword for us, our stubbornness. Constructs Brick says military second to China right now. I'm pretty sure in terms of size. Well, I mean, if you want to look at it that way, North Korea has a larger army than us too, but our military can literally crush North Korea's military in like one single swipe. So, I mean, size doesn't really matter. We have the largest navy with the entire world combined.
It's good size doesn't matter. Lucky me.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter how big your army is if your equipment and gear and technology and intelligence doesn't correlate to it.
I didn't know women look for intelligence when it came to size.
Although China is a bigger and larger threat versus, like, in military wise, they still can't project a military. In fact, no country can project a military as much as we can. And what I mean by that is projecting a military is having bases outside your own country. Thanks
it
to
all comes down to that ability to be able to transport and, you know, and like you said, get in, strike hard, strike fast.
Exactly. So, like, if you look at the movie Red Dawn, the new one where they used North Korea as the people invading, that would never happen because North Korea does not have the capability to successfully transport the entire military over to the United States without us even knowing.
Exactly.
All right, so I finally finished this thing. It's freaking dope, and it breaks my heart that a lot of people won't be able to experience this thing because it's sick. Did have an issue when I tried to turn it on and it didn't work right away. I highly recommend that if you do have a function in here or some sort of gearing system, that you test it before you build it. I'm sure any Technic builder can probably tell you that same thing. It's my first large Technic build outside the Porsche RSR. I do have the Bugatti and the Lamborghini, and I just haven't built it yet. I am very stoked about this. It wasn't really that bad of a build. And well, I got it to work, as you can see right there. I only put minimal stickers on here because I am replacing the orange on here because I want it all light bluish gray or dark bluish gray. I think there's only like probably one piece that's probably not available by Lego, but I'm gonna make this a true military aircraft. I did try the gearing out with this system. I tested it out for a couple minutes and there was no issue with the gearing. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on gearing issues with the Osprey. Relatively all the same conclusion, meaning there are improvements that you can make, but ultimately at the end, it doesn't really make a difference. It still burns out the gearing. It's made out of plastic. It's not like it's metal. I had an epiphany during my live stream building this thing. I was supposed to have a few of them, but I didn't want to overstream my boy Brick Hive, and I was supposed to do it with Ryan MNR, but he didn't build his, and I didn't really make him do it either. So even though he made me build this, technically it's his fault to the reason why I'm building this, because he wanted to build this. So everyone here, thank Ryan for making me do this video. So I did have an epiphany about this, and my thought is we Bell Boeing live to Lego. Whether it was Lego that came to Bell and wanted to do this and trying to get the license properly, or maybe it was Bell Boeing approaching Lego to do this set. Bell Boeing may have presented this helicopter as a possibility of being a rescue helicopter, because if you go on their website, it does clearly say that search and rescue is a part of an aspect of this vehicle. It's still only used by the military. So Lego's own ignorance, they didn't know that or didn't realize it, because that's how it probably got that far. If it was a gearing, they could have fixed it, and it wasn't that. They wouldn't not try to fix it, because like I said, they've done that in the past where there was a quality issue and they just fixed it. But because of that reason alone, Lego pulled out, or Bell Boeing pulled out. Someone pulled out, and that cost Lego a lot of money. Just to get a license to a set, you either have to pay a licensing fee up front and a percentage of each set. Either way, money was lost, and there was a reason to why. And now if Bell Boeing pulled the license out, money was still lost because it took money to create this set. I don't know, like I said, I don't know how it got this far, but that's my conclusion to that, is Lego was probably ignorant and they didn't realize what they had in front of them, and then it was too late, and they used the scapegoat of the German group that just miraculously came out at the right time. Maybe it wasn't a good idea for Lego to team up with a U.S. military contractor, because they would be contributing to the U.S. war machine. That's where I'm at with it. Somebody pulled licensing. That's why we don't have it. It has nothing to do with the gearing. It has nothing to do with that German group. It was simply just pure ignorance to why Lego canceled the set. Unless they come out with it to why they canceled it, but they won't. Either way, tell me why. All right, so if you made it with me all the way to the end of this video, give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down, like, comment, subscribe below, and I'll see you on the next time. Bye. Bye, guys.
Not concerned with the views of the Lego group, because we're the misfit bricks. This is what we do.